hope you are having a wonderful week and are excited about your art assignment for the week. We are going to be working with art from Vincent van Gogh. Specifically, we are working with the Starry Night painting. And we are going to be able to recreate it in several different ways that we're going to go through right now. I hope you were able to watch the video about Vincent van Gogh. He had a very interesting life and lots of different artwork that is now very, very famous. So if you haven't watched that video, please make sure you do. In that video is a picture of the Starry Night, and they talk a little bit about it, but we want to go in a little more specific. So first of all, in his painting, there is a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. And we've touched on that, but we haven't dived into it. And today we're going to be talking about actually making that happen. So a foreground, middle ground, background. So in the Starry Night painting, there is a foreground, which is the cypress tree. So it's that big wavy looking object. It's actually a cypress tree, and it is the closest object, which means it is big, very big in the picture. The next part of the painting is the hills and the little town that's there, and it is the middle ground. So it's far away from you, but not far enough that you can't see some of the details that he's added in. And then we have the background, and the background in the Starry Night is the night sky and all the stars and the swirls that are going on, and that would be your background. For our artwork, I want you to have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. If you want to just recreate Vincent van Gogh's painting, that would be fantastic too. So you can get a piece of paper if you would like. You can draw it out. So the cypress tree, the hill, the town, and the night sky. If you would like to recreate it using your paint program on your computer, you can do it on Paint as well and draw it out. You can also use different objects. So if you want to use blankets or different objects, maybe this could represent a star in the sky, you could actually lay it out on the ground and create a foreground, a middle ground, and a background using different found objects in your house. If you want it to create it to have like that cypress tree, you can figure out how to make one of those. But we could also use some different objects, and that's where I'm wanting you to get a little creative with too. If you don't want to just recreate his artwork, I want you to think about your own. So for instance, if you're drawing it or on print on the paint program to draw it, think about something that's in your foreground. So it's going to be this huge object. So for instance, mine is a boat. And then my middle ground is going to be the water and this smaller boat that is somewhat far away. I can still see some details on it. Then what I'd like you to do, no matter what type of foreground, middle ground, background you're doing, I want some type of swirls that are happening in the background. So for instance, I'm going to grab a yellow, actually I might use orange, and I'm going to add in, I still want to do a night sky, so I'm going to add in some different marks for these little stars all along. And then if you want to try to do his style of those small brush strokes, using small marks will help with that. And if you can use multiple colors. If you're doing yours in black and white, that is okay too. You can see I'm trying to create like a swirl here. It's going to come up and go out. And if I'm only using one color, it's kind of hard to see. So if you incorporate a different color, you can start to see smaller brush marks and making the swirl coming around and around the stars. So I want you to still figure out what is in the background and still have some of the spiraling action that Van Gogh had. I hope you have some ideas going for, it doesn't have to be a boat to represent something different here. You could have like a superhero looking over a city. You could have a cat watching over something. You could have a person here watching over a baseball game. Think about different things that you would have something close to you, and then in the middle, and then far away. I hope you've got some ideas going. Remember, you can draw it. It can be on your computer in the paint program. It can be also something that you actually make on the ground or on your table surface with different found objects to create this artwork. I hope you've got great ideas. I know you do. And I am anxious to see them all. Once you are finished with your work, go ahead and submit it. And I cannot wait to see what you come up with for your foreground, middle ground, and background. Have a great week, guys.